white flour for your health. White flour is a big part of most people's day, from bagels and sandwiches to pretzels and cookies. We love our white flour, but this popular ingredient isn't good for our bodies. So to eat healthy food, must we give up all these tasty items? Certainly not. Healthy flour options do exist, and with little experimentation, you can even make your own healthy, delicious baked goods and other foods usually made with white flour. Why white flour is bad? Refined white flour has very few natural vitamins and minerals. The good-for-you qualities of the whole grain have been stripped away, but even worse, bad-for-you things have been added, such as preservatives and high-fructose corn syrup. Even enriched white flour doesn't contain all the healthy components of whole grain flours, and it's absorbed by the body as starch, which means that its energy is used up quickly rather than slowly and effectively. White flour may not taste sweet, but it can lead to the same problems caused by eating too much refined sugar. An increased risk of high blood pressure, heart attack, stroke, obesity, diabetes, and high cholesterol, an increased risk of cancers and inflammatory diseases such as arthritis, an increased risk of fatty liver disease, a suppressed immune system, fatigue, depression, anxiety, hypoglycemia, and other health problems. Many studies demonstrate these concerns. For example, a study found that women who eat a lot of bad carbs, such as white flour, are 2 times as likely to develop heart disease. What to do when eating carbs? If you do eat carbs, say a slice of bread, eat it with a little protein and healthy fat. This way your body will digest the carbs more slowly, which is better for your body. Also, eating vegetables along with the carbs is even better. Balanced meals and snacks are best. Replacing flour with black beans. Here's an idea to try when baking. Swap out 1 cup of flour for 1 cup of black beans, rinsed, cooked, drained, and pureed. This replacement cuts some of the calories and adds protein, and works particularly well in brownies. Healthy white flour alternatives. To make healthier recipes that call for flour, choose whole grain or other better-for-you products. You can also find products made with whole grains. Here are some flour options, including gluten-free flours. Whole wheat flour. Be sure to choose whole wheat flour, not wheat flour. White whole wheat flour. This type of flour is made with white wheat berries and is more mild-tasting than regular whole wheat. Spelt flour. This type of flour has fewer calories than wheat and is higher in protein. When using spelt flour, you don't want to overmix it because it will break down. Brown rice flour, especially good when combined with other flours such as teff, buckwheat, or sorghum, has a slightly nutty flavor and can be used to thicken soups. Coconut flour. This type of flour is high in fiber, low carb, and good source of protein. Recipes will likely need more liquid when using coconut flour, but will require less sugar or other sweetener because coconut has a natural sweetness to it. Millet flour. This type of flour adds a subtle flavor and creamy color, plus added vitamins and minerals. It's best used with a mix of other flours because it can be gritty. Amaranth flour. This flour is high in protein. Arrowroot flour. This type of flour is tasteless and good for thickening recipes. Teff flour. This type of flour has more protein and more nutrients than wheat flour. Buckwheat flour, an herbal plant. Oat flour. When used in recipes, more liquid needs to be added. Rye flour. This type of flour is darker than most other types of flour. Banana flour. This type of flour can replace any plain or self-rising flour. It has a nutty taste. Garbanzo bean, chickpea flour. Tapioca flour. This type of flour adds sweetness and chewiness to baking. It can also be used as a thickener. Almond flour. This type of flour is made from ground almonds. Pumpkin seed meal. This flour alternative can be used to thicken soups and to add a nutty flavor to recipes. Sesame seed meal. This flour alternative is made from ground sesame seeds. Sunflower seed meal. This flour alternative is made from ground sunflower seeds. Chia seed meal. This type of flour is made from ground chia seeds. When used in baking, liquid levels and cooking time may need to be increased. Flaxseed meal. This flour alternative is made from ground flaxseed. Hemp flour. This type of flour is made from ground hemp seeds and has a mild, nutty flavor. Quinoa flour. It is one of the most nutritious flours but should not be used alone. It has a light, nutty flavor. Cornstarch. This is a flour-like substance made from wheat or corn. It is used as a thickening agent. Xanthan gum. This complex carb adds volume to viscosity in recipes, which usually comes from gluten. It is used as a thickener in salad dressings and other foods. To get the most health benefit, use sprouted whole grain flour. Read why you should bake with sprouted grain flour. A note on using almond flour. Some people argue against using almond flour because it's expensive and because too many omega-6s can be harmful, but if you're using it in moderation, you should be fine. You might not always want to choose product made with almond flour and bake it with every time you make something. Sprouted almond flour is best. Tips for using alternative flours. When using white flour substitutes and gluten-free flours, you usually have to combine several flours to get the same or similar texture and taste. Here are some tips. When using whole wheat or other flour, sift the flour 2 or 3 times to incorporate air into before baking. Try adding a little bit of vital wheat gluten to alternative flours. Try adding 2½ teaspoons of baking powder per cup of flour to lighten recipes. Adding a little more fat, preferably the healthy kind, to recipes help keep the final product light as in pancakes. After combining wet and dry ingredients, let the batter set for at least 10 minutes to allow the flour to absorb the liquid.